Okay, good afternoon, good morning, good evening to everyone joining us today for what is our inaugural, our first, both two firsts today. It's our first medicine clearing webinar of 2025 and also our very first webinar with my colleagues from the European University of Cyprus. So we are going to give it a few minutes to allow people to sign in, and we are expecting people today, obviously on the Zoom, but we've also got people joining us across our video feeds on YouTube and on Facebook as well. So it's going to be fantastic. Oh, we're offline. Oh no, we are streaming. Good. So I've just checked, they're all working now. So there are people now joining us on Facebook, YouTube, and also LinkedIn as well. We can't see some of the anonymous people, but don't worry. You'll still get the chance to contribute. You'll still get the chance to ask questions. So without any further ado, I'm first going to introduce my colleague from the European University Cyprus, Stefanos Theodosiou, who, again, I've apologized already for my pronunciation of Greek surnames in advance of introducing him. And then once we've got started on today's webinar, Stefanos is going to take us all the way through the fantastic presentation about the European University Cyprus, the campuses both in Cyprus and the option in Frankfurt as well. And then at the end of that, there will be plenty of time to ask questions. Okay, we've allocated an hour and a half for today's webinar and Q&A session, so there's plenty of time. What I would ask you to do is if you do have a question, type it in on the Q&A, and for the question that's already been asked, it will include information on dentistry. So if you type into the Q&A feature, we'll wait till the end of the presentation. Then what we will do is we will read out your questions. The reason we're going to read out the questions is twofold. Number one, only we can see your question in the Q&A. Not everyone on the presentation can see it. So we will read out the question for everyone joining us today. Also, the recording of this, which goes onto our YouTube channel in the live section, if you want to watch it again, you'll get a link to that probably tomorrow. But you will be able to watch the webinar again. And obviously, anyone watching that webinar, re-recording that playback, will want to obviously see and hear the questions that have been asked and the answers as well. What I will say about the questions is please ask the questions as you want to ask it. Don't worry, we're not going to disclose your identity when you ask the question. So please don't feel that you need to hold a question back. There's no such thing as a stupid question. If you've got a question in your head now or during the presentation, I can guarantee there'll be plenty of other people, both with us today and who watching the playback, who will have the same question. So please type them into the Q&A feature whenever you're ready, and then we'll deal with all the questions at the end of the webinar. We've actually got a very good following by the looks of it on YouTube, so I'm going to keep an eye on any questions that come in from there as well. So whether you're watching us both on the Zoom link or the actual link on one of our social media streams, then we will actually be able to address all the questions regardless of where and when you ask them. So I am going to hand over now to Stefanos. I'm going to ask him to kind of share his screen because he's got a fantastic webinar, a fantastic PowerPoint, and also a video to show us. So I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to let the expert take over. And please just go ahead and type your questions in the Q&A feature, and we'll deal with them all after Stefanos has finished with his presentation. So Stefanos, the floor is yours. Take it over.
Thank you, Ben, for the introduction. Let me share my screen. So, first of all, as Ben said, I'm Stefanos Theodosiou. I'm the head of admissions of the European University Cyprus, and I'm here today to present you why we are proud to be EUC. Actually, this motto has been created from our student association, so we are very proud that our students feeling proud of being in the part of our family. So let's see a video in order to express the feelings why we are proud to be EUC.
European University Cyprus is a leading international university which stands apart for its high academic values, its high-tech campus, and its commitment to the wider community. With a significant regional presence, it has distinguished itself in academic excellence and scientific research, with an impressive rate of growth. Times Higher Education World University Rankings place European University Cyprus among the top universities in the world. While QS Top Universities give European University Cyprus a 5-star rating for its overall performance. Highly interconnected with the economy and society, the university is a hub of entrepreneurial innovation and social engagement. Its auditoriums host globally acclaimed personalities, and its lecture halls welcome world-class academics. Committed to an international growth strategy, European University Cyprus has expanded its presence in the heart of Europe with the establishment of the School of Medicine in Frankfurt. Take one step forward onto the unfolding path of your future. European University Cyprus will give you the knowledge and the power to begin that journey. European University Cyprus, empowering greatness.
So, at European University Cyprus, we have 7 schools, including 12 departments. The School of Medicine, the School of Dentistry, the School of Sciences, the School of Veterinary Medicine, the School of Humanities, Social and Education Sciences, the School of Law, the School of Business Administration, and also the Distance Education Unit, which is actually offering on online programs fully accredited across the world. The EUC profile by the numbers, we do have 12,250 students, where 37% of those are local students, meaning Cypriots, and the rest, 63%, is the international students of more than 90 nationalities in more than 90 degrees, including all the levels, meaning the bachelor level, master level, and also the PhD programs, the doctoral level. Regarding the ratings of the QS Stars University ratings in 2024, our university has been ranked with an overall assessment of 5 stars. And to be more specific, 5 stars in teaching, 5 stars in global engagement, 5 stars in diversity, equity, and inclusion, 5 stars for our online learning, 5 stars for the employability, and what is most important for that presentation, for this presentation, is that we have 5 stars in our MD medicine degree. The Times Higher Education Impact Rankings, again in 2024, have ranked us among the world's top 101 universities for the quality education. In addition, the Times Higher Education World University Rankings in 2025 have ranked us among the 801 to 1,000 best universities in the world, which is actually the best 3% globally of the top universities. Also, we have been ranked in the world's top 501 plus universities for the fields of medicine, dentistry, and health sciences, again in 2025. We are located in Cyprus. We are located in Nicosia, the capital city of Cyprus. And as you know, Cyprus is a part of the European Union. Why to choose Cyprus? Because it's an ideal location for studying. We are one of the safest study destinations in the world. We do have multicultural environment. 35,000 international university students are among Cyprus, and 90% of those are located in Nicosia. We have a Mediterranean climate, 340 days of sunshine, and because of a lot of factors, plus the blue flag beaches that we have around 4 million tourists every year. Actually, these are the statistics in 2024, something that is 4 times our overall population. We have an affordable cost of living if you compare with other countries. We have good accommodation options, the food, and also the transportation. But the main important thing is that we offer globally recognized qualifications. As a university, we are a student support and engagement university, a student-centric university. Why? Because from the day one, we have personal support through the Office of Admissions and the Student Advising Center. So firstly, you receive personal support during your application process, and then for the whole duration of your studies, you have student advisors next to you. We have the Career Center unit, which connects students and alumni with employers throughout the whole duration of the studies. We are offering orientation week before the beginning of each semester in order to make your registration as smooth as we can for the beginning. We offer sports facilities. We are hosting more than 240 social events throughout the year, and we can support you with the student accommodation around the campus. But the most important thing is that we have our own psychology center where actually all the students and also us as employees, we could have for free psychological support from experts and mentoring throughout any issue that we may face. This is why we have been assessed with 5 stars in diversity, equity, and inclusion throughout the QS ratings. As I said before, we could support you with accommodation buildings. Realistically, we have a collaboration, an exclusive collaboration for EUC students, 5 minutes walking distance. I could say that our modern studios quite big, 28 to 40 square meters, with a rental cost per week, approximately they can start from 150 euros to 220 euros, including security services, laundry room, all the bills, electricity, water, of course, internet services, and also all the accommodation buildings include great social spaces in the ground floors. As a university, we could be called as one health university because in Cyprus, we are the only one university offering all the top areas of studies in health: medicine, dentistry, veterinary medicine, and health sciences. To be more specific, 24 programs of our university in these areas of study, 11 of those are exclusively offered from the European University Cyprus. At this presentation, we will focus to the top 3 premium programs in the medicine field: the medicine, the MD degree, the dentistry degree, and also the veterinary medicine degree. The MD is 6 years duration, dentistry and veterinary medicine are 5 years duration, and all the degrees are taught in English language. Starting with the veterinary school, our newest school, we are offering the Doctor of Veterinary Medicine, the famous DVM, 5-year program duration, as I said in English, following the European system of evaluation of veterinary training requirements and all other European Union and international directives. This is a competency-based integrated curriculum with practicum at early stage, even from the first semester, to the EUC Small Animal Veterinary Teaching Hospital in collaboration with a Cypriot company near the campus. Now, we will see a video regarding the School of Veterinary Medicine. Proceeding to the School of Dentistry, we are offering the Bachelor of Dental Surgery based on European and North American dental standards. Of course, as I said before, we're the first and the only dentistry program in Cyprus, and our graduates could be qualified to practice as general dental practitioner in the 32 EU and European Free Association member states. Of course, it is approved by the Association of Dental Education in Europe, and we have on campus our dental clinic. 50 dental chairs are in our fourth floor, serving over 4,000 cases in annually basis. Actually, our fourth year students, including the fifth year students, are delivering excellent dental care to real patients as a part of their clinical experience in fully equipped advanced dental clinic. Now, we will see a video that has not been produced from EUC, but it has been produced from the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, thanking us for our free dental care services for the refugees. Let's see this video.
We're very happy and honored that we're able to treat patients from a lot of nationalities, a lot of countries, and especially patients that they're refugees and they came to Cyprus seeking for a new place to start their new life.
We do have a bunch of multicultural students here who know many different languages. So because of the diversity that we have in all of our patients, it's more welcoming and at home for them to be scheduled in with somebody who knows the same language.
After working in the clinic, you can see that everyone is human and everyone has problems.
It doesn't matter who sits in the chair. We treat everyone the same, and we can feel the special things from them towards us students.
It always makes me smile whenever I'm able to make the patient smile.
Our student population in the medical sciences fields are approximately 1,800 students. 30% are local students, 70% are international students, including the countries that are mentioned at the bottom. I'm repeating myself regarding our biggest achievement in medicine that we've got from the QS Top Universities ratings, 5 stars in our MD degree. And as for the international strategy of the European University Cyprus, in 2022, we have expanded our branches in Germany, in Frankfurt actually, a campus that at this stage is offering only exactly the same degree as Nicosia, the MD degree, the medical degree. As we call it, is one degree, two locations. And let's see a video of showing our infrastructure in both campuses.
There's so many things which I appreciate about this university. Just the open door policy we have here, like, you have a problem, talk to us.
We have the lectures in the morning and then the lab in the afternoon, so we always practice what we learned in the lectures.
He allows us to examine various parts of his body and also to check the blood pressure, heart rate.
I would definitely recommend EUC to study medicine here. Everything is new and there are always someone who helps you, so I would recommend the EUC.
The biggest accreditation of our program, Doctor of Medicine, is through the WFME, the World Federation for Medical Education. It's fully accredited through this process, and this is a worldwide passport to make your specialization in over the world. Some topics that could be mentioned is the key training facilities. We do have, and you have seen, the high fidelity simulation labs, the fully equipped simulator hospital world, procedures and clinical skill labs, also the anatomy labs. Our clinical training in the last 3 years of the degree to access private and state-run hospitals in 13 actually countries, including Cyprus, Greece, Israel, and Germany. And also we encourage the students to proceed with summer externships in more than 10 countries, in 74 actually hospitals that we have, including Oxford University, Johns Hopkins, Imperial College, which actually a really crucial networking opportunity for future placement. The selection process for all these 3 areas of study are the same, except that for the applicants of the medical degree, an interview is compulsory. Firstly, I have stated here something regarding the IB students, but of course, as a university, we are able to accept a variety of other high school leaving certificates, of course, accredited high school leaving certificate, national or private. In all the high school leaving certificates, we do require biology as compulsory course, and another one, either chemistry, either math, either physics. Of course, we need an English certificate if you are not a British national, a personal statement, an academic reference, and the interviews. The interview, as I said before, is compulsory only for the medicine, but maybe the other schools require also an interview if the schools require it case by case. The interview now is not a test. We do not have any test, including all the academic knowledge is showed through the academic documents, but the interview is actually why you want to be a doctor, to express your motivation regarding the profession, the empathy, your team working skills, the leadership skills, the communication during the process, and of course the commitment that for 6 years or 5 years to the other degrees, you will be committed to be in the end a doctor. Now, my last slide and a 3 minutes video is showing the aerial view of our campus in Nicosia, including a lot of facilities and areas. So please have a look at the end of my presentation. Thank you everyone for your participation. I think, Ben, it's time for the QAs. Thanks a lot.
Perfect, great, thank you. So Stefanos, you can just end your screen share and then we will start digging in to many of the questions. Thank you for that. It's fantastic to see so many images, videos from the various programs, the various campuses and the facilities accommodation. They're always the things that people want to see. And it's great to see them, you know, in reality. So for anyone who's online and wants to ask questions, we do have plenty of time. So you can actually keep typing in your questions and we're going to get to them. Now, we won't necessarily answer all the questions that have been asked in the order they've been asked because there is some crossover and some themes that we will get to. So I'm going to discuss first some of the kind of the basic aspects of questions that someone's asked. And we're going to start off with kind of admission and academics. And we're going to start off, Stefanos, if you can just talk us through the number of spaces that are available for each of the programs on the different campuses, because people obviously want to know how big their cohort is in the different places they are, because some people do prefer, universities with bigger cohorts, some prefer smaller. So if you can just run through, how many seats do you have available on medicine in Cyprus, Frankfurt, and then dentistry and veterinary medicine per academic year?
Okay. So for medicine in Nicosia, we do have approximately 180 slots. In the Frankfurt branch, 140 slots. For the dental surgery program in Nicosia, we do have approximately the same 180 slots. And for the veterinary medicine, 40 slots. This is the numbers for this academic year.
Perfect. So obviously you can see from the facilities there is ample opportunity there to actually, secure a seat. And obviously you have a student staff ratio, which means that all the students are getting, very intensive tuition and supervision whilst they're studying. Okay. The one thing, I'm going to get some of the basic things. Do you have a minimum age requirement? Some universities require students to be 18 on enrollment. Is that something which you need at the European University Cyprus, like we say do in the UK?
As I said before, we do not ask for any tests or other exams. We have only specific criteria regarding the high school level certificate. So you have, everyone could ask you or me immediately for specific type of high school leaving certificate in order to announce them the appropriate criteria and the specific grades, the overall, or per subject regarding the specific type of the high school leaving certificate.
Okay. But is there an age requirement? Do students have to be 18 when they arrive, or because we do get some?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Perfect. So for those of you that
the only requirement by the Ministry of Education in Cyprus is to have completed the schooling years. So no age requirement.
So for those of you that are online who are, they said, perhaps international students who've been looking at the UK, then where you have to be 18 on enrollment, that's not something which is the case in Cyprus. So if you are like, 17, turning 18 in that academic year, you can still apply. Right. Fantastic. Okay. And some people have been asking about the entry requirements. Okay, I think Stefanos talked about those in the presentation, but on the whole, you need to have biology, whether that be at A level or higher level on the IB, with one other science. But if you come from a diploma system, which is perhaps a bit different, a high school diploma in a particular country, then obviously both the team here at Medical Doorway and at the European University Cyprus will be more than happy to take a look at your diploma to determine if you're eligible. And they'll do that before the application has been submitted. So you don't have to submit the application, pay the university application fee before you know if you are going to be accepted. Okay, let's start working through the questions. I've got some answers for some of them, which I've already seen here. So can we talk, Stefanos, a little bit more and perhaps broaden this out about the clinical rotations? Now, for those of you that don't know Cyprus particularly well, yes, Cyprus is a bilingual country. English and Greek are both national languages in Cyprus, because obviously Cyprus has very close connections with the UK historically. So English is obviously spoken as a first language, and also Greek. But if you can tell us a bit about how students engage in the clinical environments, both in Cyprus and in Germany, because students do have questions about kind of languages that they need to learn whilst they're studying, and how that works and how that's kind of catered into the program.
Actually, our language center is offering free lessons for Greek, for the Nicosia campus, and in parallel, German language lessons for free for our Frankfurt branch. This is like a gift to the students because it's free, but the main purpose, of course, is for the last 3 years of the clinical rotations to be able to communicate at least the basic. In addition to that, the school is dividing and separating the teams with a Greek taught student and also an English taught student, and the German taught student for the Frankfurt batch with an English taught student. So the team is fully covered regarding language requirements in their clinical years.
Okay, but the level, what is Greek a requirement for those students who are going? So, as I said, so for those of you that have asked about it, you will have the opportunity to learn Greek, and I think you should do when you study in another country, learn the local language. It's definitely something to bring with you. But Cyprus is fully native English speaking as well, because of, you know, it used to be part of the British Empire. In fact, 2 parts of Cyprus are still actually under British control, 2 military bases. So English is spoken by everyone on the actual program, in Cyprus as well. So you will be operating using English even in the clinical environments, but do take that opportunity. To learn Greek, okay? And I take up those lessons as well. It's definitely a good way of meeting people, and it'll also mean you get more out of your stay, okay? I'm going to move on to some of the questions about regulations and accreditation, and there is actually a little bit of false information out there circulating, and I'll be able to deal with that now, thankfully. But let me just, I'm going to share my screen with everyone in a moment. And so there are questions, let's stick with medicine first, okay? People are asking about if the degree is recognized for the with the GMC, okay? So we'll deal with medicine first. Okay, the program in Cyprus is directly recognized under the current EEA recognition system under the GMC regulations, okay? And you can see that if you go to the GMC website. So if you do go to the GMC website and you just tap in European Economic Area, GMC, something like that, okay? You will see quite clearly a list of European countries. Cyprus is there. And if you click on full registration, you'll see European University Cyprus even mentioned as a university there, okay? And basically, this is the qualification basically the university gives you and the regulator does, so you can then apply for direct licensure with the GMC with a full license to practice. It's a full license to practice because you've obviously completed your internship year whilst you are there in Cyprus, okay? And it's the same for Germany as well, because it's the same qualification, okay? Now, people are asking about dentistry, okay? And people are asking about what's going to happen moving forward dentistry. And there is actually some false information. You do have to watch out, okay? But if you want the correct information, we'll pull up the GDC website as well. So what's been happening with the GDC is the GDC and the UK has retained basically near automatic or effectively automatic recognition of European programs. And people are saying, you know, what's going to happen in 5 years? The reality is there isn't a plan. It's been rolled over repeatedly. So the automatic recognition was rolled over in, I think, 2022, 2021, 2022, and it's been rolled over again for another 5 years starting in 2023. There has been no decision made on what will happen in 2028. So for those people asking about taking the ORE exam in 2028, because they believe that's what happens, that is not the case. The case is the government will be deciding 5 years from now, and the GDC will be deciding 5 years from now what to implement, okay? And there are lots of discussions going on between the European Union and the British government about recognition of qualifications outside of the medical fields, like architecture and things like that at the moment. But as it stands at the moment, you've got automatic recognition, and there is currently no plan by the GDC, based on what they've written on their website, to implement the ORE for graduates from the European Economic Area, okay? So if you believe that you're going to have to take the ORE, that is not the case, according to that particular website, which I've just shown to everyone there. It's automatic recognition, and it may be rolled over again, it may be rolled over after that. Either way, that's the information we have today, but there is no strategy in place for students to take the ORE in the UK if they qualify from European University Cyprus as a dentist. Okay, so just keep an eye on that website. Okay, so for those people who've been asking about the ORE and things like that, as I've said, I'm going to repeat it again. According to the GDC, there is currently no plan on their website for European graduates to take the ORE. Okay, they've simply rolled over the existing legislation for another 5 years. So I'm just going to remove those questions about the ORE. Okay. And then let's, okay. And people are asking questions about the ORE and non-European. This is a European program, so the question doesn't really have any relevance, okay? So as I said, as it stands, you're exempt from the ORE based on current legislation. Okay, right, I'm going to get rid of that question because it's the same one. Okay. Stefanos, there's obviously we've got a group of Brits online here, as we could expect. Okay, can you tell me a bit about the size of your British cohorts, both on your medicine and dental programs, actually? I know they're asking about dentistry here, but what kind of number of Brits do you have? And that might not just be Brits from the UK, we have Brits everywhere we work with, but what can you give me some kind of idea where the biggest groups of students are coming from across the programs?
Okay, for the academic year of 25-26, now we do have around 50 British that will attend our university until now, mainly to the medicine program and to the dental surgery program. We do have some British in other programs as well, but the majority are for the specific 2 programs.
Yeah, yeah. And so just to reiterate, for those people that have come on a bit later, all the programs are fully taught in English, okay? So for those asking about the programs, everything is taught in English from start to finish. In fact, you can even do, especially on the medicine program, some of your clinical attachments internationally. And I think that moves us on to that particular theme now. Can you tell me about the students? Obviously, you've got fantastic hospitals in Cyprus that the students attend in their clinical experience, in their clinical phases. But where else can students perform their clinical attachments once they enter those parts of the program?
Actually, we need to state at this point that all the medical students, except of a student advisor from the very, very beginning, they will have an academic advisor who is actually a professor throughout the whole duration of their study. But additionally to that, for the last 3 years, they will have also a clinical advisor. So all these questions regarding clinical rotations, where, at which place could be answered from the very, very beginning when they will know and they will be grown enough, I mean, in the medical path. So they will have all the guidance throughout in order to see where, I mean, the hospital, the country, and the areas that they will cover throughout their clinical years. So the main answer to this question is that all the students will have all the necessary guidance and support from the very, very beginning, so they could identify a lot of options that the European University of Cyprus, and more specifically the medical school, is able to offer to those students.
So where are your students currently doing their clinicals now? Because they're in various places, aren't they?
Yeah, there are a lot of spaces, a lot of places, not only in Cyprus but in the whole Europe, even in US. So yes, there is a big demand, and we are able to have a lot of places that we are very we have very close collaboration with a lot of hospitals in all the world.
Yeah, and again, that's one of the things. Cyprus is a very outgoing, kind of globally pointing country. And again, with the links to the US, the UK, the German campus, for example, and I think there have been some students doing some placements in Switzerland as well. There are lots of opportunities available for when you come into that clinical stage of the program. Okay, for those that are asking, yes, the program is still accepting seats for 2025. I do know you're a bit tight on the dental program now because you're near to capacity. But if you are still interested for 2025 and you have a prediction of, say, ABB at A level, or you've achieved your 32 points on the IB over the weekend, there is the opportunity to still apply now. I'm going to return quickly to the accreditation of dentistry because there was a very specific question about practicing in Canada. Canada for dentistry is a difficult place to get registered. You have to effectively qualify from Australia, Canada, Ireland, the UK, New Zealand, or the USA. If you haven't done, you need to attend a conversion degree called the IDAPP, the International Dental Advancement Placement Program, which is effectively 2 years of an additional degree in Canada. And the same applies to the US as well. So I would say if you are looking at working as a dentist in Canada, going to a European program, if you want to go straight back to Canada, is not the right pathway for you unless you're happy to do that 2-year conversion degree, okay? Okay, let's start getting more into some of the other questions about the teaching and assessment, okay, on the actual degree, okay? So, Stefanos, so obviously you've got lectures, you've got laboratories, you've got, fantastic anatomy facilities, etc. Okay, can you tell us a little bit about the methodology by which students are taught and then how they are assessed to determine if they've got the knowledge to progress through the program?
Okay, actually, the type, it's called a spiral methodology, which is actually the first 2 years are like the fundamentals of the medicine, for example. The third and the fourth year are deeply dive into that. And also to the 5th and 6th year, mainly to the clinical practitioners of those that they have been taught in the very, very beginning. So, of course, our curriculum is like US based. We need to clarify this. This is the methodology that the School of Medicine has created the curriculum. And in the end, what the School of Medicine is finally achieved is that all the technology driven through our infrastructure and through the very advanced curriculum that we are offering, all together, the theoretical with the practical, are looking for the graduates in the medical field that the that we are all looking for in 2025. So it's very advanced, very updated and upgraded through all the infrastructure. So this is why we have a very strict accreditation policy in Cyprus. We need to maintain and enhance the curriculum throughout the years.
Perfect. Yeah, so it's what the spiral curriculum, for those who don't know, it's quite typical in the UK as well. It's problem-orientated style of curriculum where you are embedding the theory in actual clinical practice, even in the theory room, and you do their small group teaching. Okay, obviously students have to be assessed when they go through the degree. Okay, they have to be assessed on their knowledge and skills. Can you tell me about how students are examined? And then if a student perhaps doesn't perform very well in the first attempt, how can they then, retake the exam to make sure they've got the knowledge and skills to be safe as they move forward?
Okay, actually this is related to the academic regulations of the university in overall, I mean. But specifically for those students, we have a minimum percentage. It's 60% out of 100. And all the students are being assessed through midterm exams, final exams, essays and projects, and also there are practicum examinations throughout the semester in specific areas of study related and depending to the course that they will have in each semester. About the retake, because I've seen that there is a question regarding the retake. In the academic regulation of the university, it's only available for students that have an overall grading 50 to 59 in the next and actually in the following examination period, and this could be happen only once to each course. We need to mention here that the medical school and other schools have all the support throughout the semester. And so by the midterm exams, we look into the students, including the academic advisor that I have mentioned before. So for this, we have very good percentage of graduates in these schools. The first 3 years, we have around 3 to 4% dropouts. But if you pass the first 3 years, we have around 99% of successful rate.
Yeah. So those percentage rates that anyone says, they're actually about comparable with the UK. Remember, the university is there to support you, and they have an entire team to support you. So as we said, you're looking at around about 97 to 96% success rate in the first 3 years, and then the following 3 years after that, it's 99% success rate. So if the student does take an exam, doesn't pass the exam, which happens to many students, there is the opportunity to retake. But before that, there is the academic, because of the student support office, which will then sit down and try and work with the student to determine where things have gone wrong. Perhaps it might be a learning thing. It might be they're not operating at the right level or studying in the right way for the exam. Or it might be a pastoral thing as well. Sometimes, more often than not, something external to the academic environment is impacting the student's well-being. And that's something that the university, obviously, from what Stefanos has told us, will go through with each student to make sure they are successful if they can be on their degree. Okay, let's carry on. So we've dealt with that. So admission is for 2025. And then, okay, Stefanos, good friend of mine, good counsellor friend of mine, not far from where you are actually, has asked about what's the recognition of the degree in Germany. So obviously from the program from Cyprus, it's a European Economic Area program. So I'm assuming, as per the law, has automatic recognition in Germany as well.
Of course. You have absolutely right. And just for clarification, for the Frankfurt branch, we were needed to make exactly the same accreditation policy through the Cyprus authorities, and then to make again the same accreditation policies through the German authorities. So it's fully accredited, everything, even in Nicosia, even in our Frankfurt branch.
Yeah. And the one thing I do want to say quite openly now to everyone is the campus in Frankfurt is actually operated by the university itself. It's university operated. It's not a franchise. Okay, it's university operated, and that's a very important thing because there are different options around there which kind of hide the reality. That's not the case here. Everything is open and transparent. Okay. I'm just going to delete some of the questions that we've gone through. Okay, we've dealt with that one. That's good. Okay, so Stefanos, if you can talk now, let's get down to the funding side of things. If you can talk a little bit about the costs for the different programs, the tuition fees, and then kind of just touch base on the living costs of what people would expect to have to kind of budget for living, say, in Nicosia.
Okay, so the medicine in Frankfurt branch is 25,000 euros per year. The medicine in Nicosia main campus is 23,000 euros per year. And there are some additional fees for the clinical years, but this is dependable of the choice of the student. The dental surgery program in Nicosia is again 23,000 euros per year. And the veterinary medicine in Nicosia is 21,000 euros per year. These are the fees for the for these areas, but we do have other programs related to the medical fields as well as pharmacy or biomedical sciences, physiotherapy in English, with that the tuition fees, of course, are less than this, approximately 10,000 euros per year.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, it's good to have that. And if you want an update on that, keep an eye on the website. Do get in touch with Medical Door. We can write all this down. So if you've got to discuss with parents, or you're a parent and you want to kind of look at your budgets, just let us know. We'll obviously give you these estimates as well. Okay, so we're going to just dig into a little bit of A-levels, because there are students who are online now who are obviously waiting on their A-level results in 1 month's time, just over a month's time. Okay, so for everyone who's asking about A-levels, you do need 3 A-levels. This typical offer is an ABB, and you do need to have biology and 1 other science. But I'm going to specifically mention a student here. So we've got, for example, Stefanos, many students who are doing A-levels in the UK, but have passports that are not UK or not European. For example, people have Indian passports who live in the UK. Someone's asked, do they require an IELTS? Now, I know there might be some regulations for the visa. So what is requirement for, say, students who have perhaps got a nationality which is not considered non-native English speaking, but who then live in the UK? So what's the requirements for those particular students from a language perspective?
Those students will need an English certificate for the visa requirements. This is a mandatory document that the immigration department will need for their visa to be issued. The Minister of Education in Cyprus accepts 16 different English certifications. So we are able to send to everyone a list just to have it in mind. I'm assuming that the question is related to IELTS. Of course, IELTS are accredited. So by this, the answer is yes, even if they are in UK for studies, throughout the visa regulation, we need to submit an English certificate for the visa requirements.
So for those of you that are perhaps living in the UK, have a passport from a country where English is not considered a first language, even though it might be default for you, you will have to take some form of English test to not to satisfy the university, they're happy with you with your A-levels, but to satisfy the ministry for the visa procedures. At this moment, Cyprus is not a member of the Schengen area, so it's got a different visa system altogether than perhaps the Schengen countries. That might change because there is a plan for Cyprus to join Schengen at some point in the future, but until that is the case, we are dealing with the kind of the national visa for Cyprus. Okay, and there is a particular requirement. It's not overly high. It's not 7 or 8. It's not 7 or 8. I think it's 6.5, something like that, I believe.
6.5, yes, 6.5 for IELTS.
IELTS, if you're going to be applying for the visa on that basis. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to take away some of the questions. Okay. Someone's asked if a student is French but lived in the UK all their life, do you need an English test? Actually, you won't need an English test if you do UK A-levels, if you're a French passport holder, because you also don't need a visa. That's the other thing as well to remind you on. Okay, perfect. I'm just going through. We have actually dealt with many of the questions already, or we've covered them that have been done there. Tell us a bit about your anatomy tutor. It's a big bugbear of mine, actually, Stefanos. Can you tell us how you teach anatomy at the faculty? Because that is something which obviously, as someone who's taught anatomy in the past, who's what is the strategy about learning anatomy?
Okay, I will give some basic information because it's more academically the answer, but we use a lot of different basics. I mean, the basic anatomy lab, we use the Sectra machine, for, if you're aware regarding this, that connects a database from worldwide doctors with real cases that a lot of diseases can be found in over the world, but not in Cyprus. So our students are able to use this machine in order to be aware with diseases that may not see in their career path. And what I have missed, and also another simulations that of course are related to the anatomy as area of study.
Okay. And what about the use of human tissue? Do you use cadavers or plastinates? Is there what's this?
Cadaver, no, but depending on some specific courses, the professors are showing different kind of procedures to that. But the cadavers, no, we are not using them. No.
They're actually becoming quite a lot rarer to use even in the UK medical schools now, actually. Not as many universities have full cadaveric dissection as an option because of the way lack of often storage capacity and things like that. And there are so many different ways to learn anatomy now. Okay, so last one I think we'll stick with. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, boys versus girls. Now in the UK, more girls are going into medicine than actual boys now, actually, because girls do outperform boys at A levels quite regularly. So what's currently the demographic split between males to females at the university?
Okay, in overall, I could say that it's approximately 50-50. There are some traditional degrees, but not in this in these specific fields, but more engineering degrees that they used to be more male generation degrees. But as a university, we are trying to invest more regarding this. This is a part of the diversity and equity that I have mentioned before. But concluding on this, we could say that it's 50-50%. We don't have any, we don't face these issues. I mean, in the university because of this. It's a big amount of students, and by 50-50,
a large number. Big university. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. It is a large multi-faculty university. It's not all just about medicine and dentistry and veterinary. There are so many different possibilities for students to study at the European University outside of what we can offer at medical.
Yeah, and if I may interrupt you, and all the students are together, so it's one campus philosophy. So everyone is together. So this is a great student environment, and with different cultures as well, including that for cultural exchange and brainstorming regarding a lot of thinkings that they will add to the student life and the student journey in overall.
Perfect. We've just gone over the hour mark, which was what the plan was. If any of yours, if there are some very specific questions to you, what I would suggest is you do email hello@medicaldoorway.com, because some of the questions that we haven't yet answered are very, very specific and not that generic really compared to what we would usually answer. We have gone over the hour mark now, which is usually where we would sign off. So I do want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's turned up on Zoom today. We've had well over 50 questions asked there that we've got through. We've also had people watching on YouTube and Facebook, and people will continue to. In fact, I've even had some college counsellors message us while we've been online because their students are currently watching on YouTube. That's fantastic to hear. So I'm going to say a huge thank you to Stefanos as well for giving over his time. All right. As I said, it's very difficult to tear yourself away from those blue flag beaches in Cyprus. Okay. I did say to one of my colleagues from Cyprus once he should go to the beach when in Dubai, and he said, "Ben, we've got better beaches in Cyprus." And I kind of like looked at myself like a bit of an idiot then. But anyway, I want to say thank you. For those of you that are looking at applying for 2025, there is still time. You can apply at medicaldoorway.com, find the EUC application form, fill that form in there. Then we will get in touch with you very quickly to help arrange your online interview for the program that you've applied to. And then if you are accepted, we are able to help take you through many of the kind of bureaucratic procedures to get actually accepted and enrolled at the university. And we're more than happy. The team in the office are here all the time. And we've worked with students from across the globe this year who are applying to the European University of Cyprus. For those of you that want to watch the recording again, Medical Doorway on YouTube, and then click on live, you will see it right there. It's being streamed there now and will automatically be on the channel that's available. For those who are waiting on A-level results, I would suggest doing your application now. So, because if we wait till clearing, the number of seats are going to be significantly lower than they are going to be if we apply now, and there might actually be a rush of getting your application in. It also means you can pre-prepare some of the visa work as well. But anyway, thank you to everyone. I'm going to say goodbye to Stefanos, goodbye to everyone who's joined us today. If you've got any questions, just get in touch with Medical Doorway via our website, get our full free of charge support, and perhaps we'll see you in Cyprus, in Nicosia, or in Frankfurt to do medicine in Germany later this year. Thanks to everyone.